Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. A very big welcome to all of you out there across the world who are watching our show live or on the replay. This is USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I'm truly thrilled to be here with you today. A very dear friend is hosting our show today. Katrina Valente is the star of our show. She's in Dubai, and she's just had some life-changing experiences that she's going to be sharing with us. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, so good to see you.
You too.
Lovely to be back.
I should be after what I went through.
I can only imagine. We were talking a little bit backstage about something that you volunteered to do, and I watched on social media and I was like, it looks so painful, but yet the results are fantastic. So we're going to get into that, but you also were off at a retreat that was mind-boggling and life-changing. I haven't even heard about it yet. Let's start off with what it is that you do to help other people. People are watching right now. They're like, Katrina Valente, how can she help me? Tell us.
Okay, so I do energy clearing work. So anything that you feel is blocking you in your life, I can work on it, whether it's relationship, career, money, or health. And I do it online, so you actually don't have to be with me in the physical. And I'm also doing a lot of relationship coaching now and touching on sex therapy a little bit as well as my physical treatments. If you're in Dubai, I do the medical lymphatic drainage, the raindrop massage, and some anti-aging facials I've kept in my memoirs.
In your toolbox of things that you provide. I love it. So, Katrina, as you know, you have another show here, Secrets to Timeless Beauty, and you've had kind of a shift, but you're still doing some of that work as we just discussed. Tell us how you decided to increase the value that you're bringing to people through dating and relationship coaching.
Well, it kind of happened organically. I mean, I've been studying the male-female dynamic for over 10 years now, and the psychology of humans greatly interests me. And, you know, being a therapist for 25 years, your clients are always telling you about their lives, their relationships. And it was just a natural progression. I started working in coaching and with the energy clearing with people in relationship issues. And it just kind of escalated from there. And it's what I really enjoy and love doing these days.
You know, you just touched on something that we had a topic on another show. When you are providing a service, and believe me, I've done this. I sit down to get my hair done, although I do it myself now, but you sit down and all of a sudden, instead of just, what do you want to do with your hair today? Oh, this happened to me over the weekend. This happened. This guy did this. And all of a sudden, that person who's providing a service, which they're really good at, they become a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist as well. So you have definitely in your career had the opportunity when people are relaxed, relax and you're giving them these treatments, that they start to share with you what's going on in their lives. How do you manage that fine line between being able to focus on the service that you're providing and then also being sort of a counselor therapist?
It never really, it was two in one, really. I mean, I never ever thought about it as a separate entity. It was just the way it's always been. I've never known any different. I mean, your clients talk to you most of the time, chit chat, and then, they do tell you about their lives. And yeah, now I'm able to help them in that area.
It's fantastic. And by the way, I've tried to find the picture I was talking about, so please send it when you get a chance, about the life-changing experience that you volunteered for. So you just were on a retreat, and I really believe that some of the key takeaways from the retreat are in alignment with our topic, which is how to love yourself so that you can love another. And what I'm taking away at the foundation of this is, if we don't actually love ourselves, if we don't like ourselves, if we don't know ourselves, if we don't know our bodies, how can we possibly get involved with someone else and expect it to work? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we can only love another as much as we love ourselves. We cannot never ever love any more than that. So, you should always try and work on yourself, get to understand your likes, your dislikes, why you do the things you do, the mother-father issues. If you can clear up all of that stuff, then you could be more open to a bigger, greater love.
It's funny, Katrina. I was watching on Instagram this interview. I'm not going to say who it was with, but someone very well known, at least here in the States. This guy is absolutely gorgeous. Hello. Anyway, he was being interviewed by someone, and he's single. He's been single. He's never been married. And he said the reason why he's single is because he doesn't fit the box. He doesn't fit the mold of what it is women are looking for. So I need to be called every however often. I need to know where you are. I need you to report in. I need you to buy me flowers. I need you to take care of me. And he's just opted to check out of all of those boxes, but yet he gets plenty of women, just not long-term relationships. So is this something that you've heard about, or that you've been involved with in your mentoring and coaching with people in relationships?
I think nowadays, people want a lot more, they expect a lot more, and certainly since social media, the average girl gets more attention than she would in everyday life, with all the filters and all the Photoshop. You can look like somebody completely different. So, a 5 out of 10 girl now thinks she's a 8 or a 9 out of 10. So they get a bit delusional about what they should expect from a man. And, I think instead of looking at what he can give you, you need to be looking at what you can give him, what you can bring to the relationship, because you will get as much as you receive in life. You'll get as much as you give in life, So as a woman, it's our job to nurture and love our man, not to sit there and think that you can do nothing and receive, all the gold and diamonds in the world. It's just not realistic.
Now, I noticed on, I think, Instagram, you posted some key takeaways from this retreat that you went to. And one of the takeaways, and I'm not going to say it correctly exactly how you said it, but basically that we need to take care of men. That's basically one of the key takeaways. But if you're an independent woman and you're used to taking care of everyone else and you're used to running your business, what if you think to yourself, I just wish somebody would take care of me, and you lead with that? And I saw this on one of the reality TV shows. I'm a huge reality TV show person. I love competitions. And so on one of these shows, this woman had been married and her husband left her, and she was really traumatized. She's very, very wealthy. And anyway, she's looking to meet someone, and she hired someone to help her with dating, and the person said, can you be the one who's taking care of the man? She said, absolutely not. There is no possible way. And just listening to that, I thought, ooh, that's I don't know. I don't think I'd want to be involved with her if I was a man, but yet she was really hurt. So is that the crux of what this is all about? That women traditionally have been so hurt by men that they don't actually want to take care of them?
No, I think nowadays women are far too masculine. They're running their own lives, they're making their own money, they're bosses at work. And that's all good and well, but you have to remember when to step back into the feminine energy. I mean, I keep talking about this. There is no way two men in the house are going to get along. There is going to be a war. There has to be a male energy and a female energy. The male energy is the leader, the female energy is the nurturer. And you have to play that game, even if you're consciously aware of it, if you want a successful relationship. I mean, like the woman you've just described, she'll always remain single or unhappy in her relationship. It will never work for her.
I love what you just said about playing the game. So, in other words, we can say to ourselves, okay, research shows that in order to have a successful relationship, X, Y, and Z has to happen. So, okay, I'll sign up, I'll play the game. But in my mind, I realize which piece of the puzzle I am so that the other pieces will fall into place.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, look, I mean, men are very simple. I mean, on this retreat, we had many different exercises that we were doing, and there was probably an equal ratio men to women. So we did this exercise where there was a man and a woman, and I had to sit in front of the man. So all the girls were sitting in front of the man, and we had to embody all the women that had ever hurt him. So he's looking at me, thinking about all the women, and we just sit there in silence. We are just holding the space for him to vent his rage, his anger, his frustration, his sadness, his hurt. And I mean, the whole room was in an uproar with these men screaming, shouting, crying, hysterical. I mean, it was really an enlightening moment for me. I've always kind of backed men a bit and think that they get hard done by because men have got no release. Women are naturally emotional creatures. Men are not. Men are told to you can't cry, be strong, stand up, get your step up a lip going, you've got to provide. And there's a lot of pressure on men. And this class just showed me how much they are carrying inside of themselves and how heart disease is big with men, strokes with men, because they've just got no outlet. And it was aggressive. It was really aggressive and eye-opening.
Wow, that is powerful. So when this person or these men were sharing their feelings and everything that's been repressed and pressed down, you felt compassion. Did you still respect them for sharing these emotions?
Absolutely, because when you get it out, you release the emotion. So you want to get to a point where when you think about someone that's hurt you, there's no charge, there's no feelings of anger, sadness, there's just a neutral feeling within yourself. And these kind of exercises help you do that.
And so are these exercises something that you now will include in the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've always known about these exercises, most of them, but a lot of the stuff we did was to teach us how we can connect to another without sexual, contact or actual full-blown intercourse. there's so many more ways that you connect to an individual, a man, or if it's a woman, without actually having to touch them, and just showing them the love from within, but without any sexual connotation. I mean, Tantra has a sexual undertone, but it's how to teach you to love yourself so you can love another on a soul level. So you're looking above the physical and you're looking at the soul of a person, the divinity within them. It's very, very beautiful.
Thanks for sharing that, Katrina. Can you speak a little bit more specifically about what Tantra is and what a person can expect if this is the type of massage they're going to be getting, or if this is included somehow in a therapy session?
Yeah, I mean, Tantra has many levels to it. It is a sexual healing per se, but it's you know, Tantra is very misconstrued. People think, oh yeah, it's a massage with the genitals and all the rest of it, which is true, but that's only a very small part of what Tantra is about. Tantra is teaching people to connect on a much higher level in love, appreciation, and of service to another.
So, if someone is just interested in the physical release, this is something they can get through this type of massage, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, but there are many rules and regulations before that. I mean, you really have to vet your clients because men don't get it in general. I mean, I've had a few experiences myself where you can explain it till the cows come home and they'll say yes, yes, yes. And then when you're actually in the session, they just misbehave themselves. So it's very disappointing. And you really have to keep a rein on that, which can sometimes be a bit difficult.
So, okay, so let's not dig deeper into that. We'll leave that where it is for the moment. So, when we think about our topic, which is how to love yourself, we know of plenty of people. I've done it myself over the years. I don't do it anymore, but oh, I'm going to love myself because I'm going to buy materialistic things. I'm going to treat myself to some shoes and some bags, and maybe I'll treat myself to a vacation and all these other things. But in the meantime, I'm not actually doing the work per se. I'm finding outlets to substitute doing the work potentially. What are your thoughts on that?
You're running away from your pain and suffering, because it's not until you really, all these things are just masking addiction, too much exercise, too much shopping, too many holidays, you know, whatever it is you do, too many drugs, too much alcohol, they are masking the real core issue that's the problem with you. And Tantra just teaches you how to love yourself fully and how to accept yourself and see the divinity in another person, and to really look at them with love and appreciation and understanding.
Okay, so I'm going to question you a little bit here. And the reason being, you know that I love to work out. It is a huge part of who I am. I'm always pushing myself to the next level. And I don't feel it's because I'm running away from anything. I mean, my mom was an athlete, and I just feel that it is something that really brings me a tremendous amount of joy. And I've given up a lot of other things so that I could be healthier and stronger in this way. So for someone who's sitting out there going, okay, well, I like to sit on the couch, and I'm sitting on the couch. I could be reading, I could be watching television. So I'm not actually finding all of these excuses or places to hide. And I feel like I'm doing quite well. What would you say to them?
Look, it's all about, okay, I'm also an exercise addict. It's very critical part of your self-worth and of taking care of yourself and being the best person you can be. But it's about how busy you make yourself versus the downtime. So it's quality time with yourself to relax, to rejuvenate, to regenerate. That is so important. as well as being, you can work. You know, some people are workaholics. They never have time. They never have a day off. They never have time to go and have fun. You need to find that balance. So this is really where loving and appreciating yourself comes in.
So here's a question I have for you. I agree with everything you just shared. What if you actually love your own company and you enjoy being by yourself and you do a lot of things? This isn't me per se, because I'm not socializing in any way specifically. But for someone who is very social and they go out on a regular basis or they find things to do, but they're doing them by themselves and they're actually happy. Is that a great way to love yourself, or are you keeping yourself from other things with other people?
Yeah, I mean, each to their own. I mean, as long as you are truly happy doing that, and you know, I mean, I believe that we all need connection. We are human. That is what we came here. We came here to love and be loved. I truly believe that. So I think when someone wants to be on their own all the time, that's also not healthy.
It's very true. There was a movie, and I think we might have discussed it before. It's with George Clooney. It's called Up in the Air. And I love this movie, but he was traveling all the time in this role that he was in, and he had little to no socialization or relationships outside of what he was doing. And I think that was kind of an awareness for people who do spend their life on the road. I was one of those people, and you get caught up in it, but yet it's part of what you do for a living and it's what's expected. And at some point you realize, wow, do I really care if I get upgraded to first class, or would I like to spend the weekend with someone?
No, I think loneliness sets in with everybody as a human if you're not interacting very much with other people. That's part of human nature. And I think if you are avoiding that and saying that you really love your own company, I mean, I'm on my own a lot, but I do crave being with people also. And I think that's just the way we're made as humans.
Yeah, I think there's also been studies and research done about the animal kingdom and how you see animals always, they're pairing up in twos. And even on the ark, they went on in twos. So there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Now, I've also known people, just talking about how to love yourself, who have spent a tremendous amount of time self-pleasuring and then became dysfunctional and couldn't actually be in a relationship with someone else because they were so used to themselves. What say you on this?
I think I think people that watch too much porn get very distorted visions of what women like. I think for men, it's extremely detrimental to watch porn because then they think that's how a woman behaves, that's what she likes, and it's nothing can be further from the truth. And they do say that men should try and abstain from self-pleasuring too much also.
Is there a
Because
guideline? Hands off from what time to what time?
I mean, I don't know about that, but they say that men should try and abstain, and then you can use that energy in your creativity. Women, it's different. Women, if they self-pleasure, it opens them up to love and abundance. So it's actually different for the two sexes.
It's interesting. I'm listening to what you're saying. There was a very successful movie project that involved Wall Street and drugs and sex and all kinds of things. And part of the beginning of the movie, when this person went to apply for the job, this person was actually told that you need to pleasure yourself numerous times during the day so that it clears your head so that you can think about the work that you're doing. I don't know if you saw that movie. It was unbelievable. Wolf of Wall Street, actually. So,
oh, right. Amazing movie.
Do you remember that part?
Times. Yeah.
So what do you think? Is there any validity to that?
Yeah, I mean, case by case study. I mean, men do get very frustrated if they can't release. You know, if they're single, they're not dating, they're not having sex. I mean, it is definitely more difficult for a man because it's not the way they were built. But there's other ways that you can release this energy, and it's through creativity. It's about building your kingdom and, you know, being busy with that. Remember, men and women are different. Men are they're creators, they're builders, they're protectors, they're providers. So they have to go out and build, whereas women have to stay home and nurture and love and take care of. So the two roles are very different, therefore the needs are also different.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, when you went to this retreat, were the majority of people, of course, this is a generalization, but did people share with you they were there because they were in pain? They were there as this is a great tool to enhance the work that I'm already doing as a coach or a mentor, or this is my own personal journey? So was it professional knowledge they were seeking or personal knowledge?
Do you know, I never really got to find out about too much about that, but I will tell you that the majority of girls were in their 30s, and I was the oldest in the group, and there was 40 of us, and there was about 20 men, 20 women, and I was stunned at how enlightened the younger generation are now. And there was some couples there that were doing work together to enhance their relationship. And there was some women there because they wanted to tap more into the feminine energy. And the men were all there to heal, which, you know, you hear a lot of women saying, oh, there's no good men out there. Well, there was 20 good men that I met in that retreat, all wanting to work on themselves, all wanting to be in loving relationships. So perception is projection. You know, you have to believe that there's good people out there, and then you'll attract them to you. If you believe that everybody's bad, then that's what you'll see around you.
Absolutely. And two things come to mind based on what you just shared. So I'll start with the first one. You mentioned you were the oldest person there. And quite frequently, the things that I do, I'm the oldest person. And I happened to read something someone posted on social media, which really stuck out for me, which was you can be the oldest person in the gym versus the youngest person in a nursing facility. And I thought, wow, that really says something. So just keep going, keep pushing yourself. So as the oldest person, what perspective, if any, do you feel that you brought to help the younger generations based on your experience?
You know, it was a very interesting place to be. I've never experienced that before. Living in Dubai, living the life, I never feel my age. I always mix with younger people. It's never a problem. But there, I was kind of being treated as an older person, and that's never, ever happened to me. So I have to say, I didn't like it one little bit. And it was a
Can you give an example?
I can't really put, people have asked me this, and it was just insinuation. It was just the way they treated me. Not all of them, but some of them. And just the men were just not interested. You know, I'm used to getting quite a bit of attention. And a lot of the guys, I mean, they were young, obviously, you know, some of them were, I mean, one guy I worked with was 25, and he was incredibly enlightened for his age. I mean, unbelievable, the younger generation and how woke they are. It was truly mesmerizing to me. So, you know, the millennials are really paving the way. And, you know, I think if you see that kind of age group in retreats like this, where it's major work you're doing on yourself, there's nobody that can't transform at the end of it. Nobody. Absolutely no one cannot benefit from doing a week like this. It's incredible to me, and kudos to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kudos to them. Now, something I just want to mention, because I found something that is the exact opposite of what you just shared, but it's in a very limited environment. And what I mean by that is I go to my solid core, I go to yoga, I go to spin class, I go to the gym. I have 4 different venues of where I can work out. And what I see over and over and over again is, and again, I'm generalizing. So if you're one of the people who's been in class with me, I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying what I've observed is that the younger people just give up. They just stop. They stop doing the class. They stop doing the workout. I see a number of young people, they're lifting weights, for example, and they just stop and they're looking in the mirror at themselves, like just thinking, what? I don't know, because to me, I want to spend 30 minutes hitting the weights and I don't want to be there for 2 hours. But again, that's just me. So I found a lack of focus and a lack of follow through that in a class, for example, if you're spinning, just stop spinning, just sit on their bike and stop. It's only the class is so long. How do you not apply yourself? So again, that's a very generalization. But what you're saying is that this retreat you went to, that everyone was really focused and putting in the work.
Yeah, they were.
What do you think the difference is? Do you think that certain people are more evolved and that's why they went to the retreat?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all, I'd say most of them have got some spiritual awareness, and the majority of them were living in Bali, and Bali is a very hippy dippy place, very spiritual, lots of yogis, lots of amazing organic food, lots of trance dance. There's no nightclubs, but there's all this trance dance, which is like the spiritual stuff. So yeah, it's a niche for woke people, and there's lots of plant medicine and stuff, So yeah.
That makes sense. So so that sounds like it's a different group of people who are embracing spirituality and on a different kind of journey.
Definitely. Definitely.
So when we think about, again, how to love ourselves before we can love someone else, if we're in the process of dating someone, are there certain questions that we should be asking, or if there's certain red flags? I've been reading a lot about red flags that come up and yet we just don't pay attention. And what I mean by this is maybe we are meeting someone or in the process of dating and the other person is so self-absorbed or so self-focused, they don't have any time to give to us.
Then they shouldn't have come on the date.
Well, maybe they're not aware of it though.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you have to vet people carefully. You have to ask key questions like, what are you looking for? The question that I would not ask, because I assumed if they were on dating sites, they would be single, and a lot of them are not. They're married, they're in relationships. So now I would always ask, are you single? And see, it's a yes/no answer. And if it's not a yes/no, then they're in a relationship, So people show you who they are very, very quickly. First date, second date, you can see where it's going to go. I mean, one thing I really liked on this retreat, then you have to look at a person and then you have to ask yourself, is this a fuck yes or a fuck no? And if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. So it's defined. It's a yes or it's a no. And I think that really helps a lot because, we give so much excuses to people. Oh, yeah, well, maybe he's had an off day or, he's been tired. No, there are no excuses. They have to bring their A game to the table. You have to stand in your high value and ask yourself, is this acceptable or not acceptable to me? So you have to have a list, which is pertaining to you as an individual, as to what you're willing to accept and not accept. Know your boundaries clearly. And then it saves you a lot of time. You know, there was a girl I know recently, she was dating a guy for 4 months, and he flew her to the States, met her family, and then he just started gaslighting her and everything. You know, and she was seeing him for 4 months. So probably the signs were there in the beginning. She just chose not to look at them. Women are very good at turning a blind eye if they like someone or they want something to work. But you really have to save yourself the heartache and the trauma and just look at their actions. Forget the words. Look at what they're doing. Look at how they're behaving. Look at how they're treating you. What are their manners like? You know, how are they treating the waiter or the waitress? Simple things will tell you a lot about someone.
Absolutely. And so if you see these red flags in the beginning, then just realize that when somebody shows you who they are, that's who they are.
Yeah, and I think women are very scared of being really upfront. Like now I just say, look, I'm looking for a long-term partner. If you're not looking for that, then forget it. And you know, it's unbelievable. I just recently boosted a post. I've never done it before. So my business coach had suggested I try it. So I boosted this one reel that I had talked about intimacy and how quickly a man orgasms in relation to a woman and what you can do to even the gap. That has gotten about 12,000 views so far, and it's been up about 4 days now, and I've done it for a week. And I've been getting so many men follow me, just wasting my time, sending me messages. And, you know, there was this one guy, he kept on and on and on and on. And I said, look, I'm looking for a long-time partner. He says, yeah, but I can show you some real fun. And in the meantime, you can still look for your long-term partner. And I'm thinking, who do you think I am? You know, so a lot of time, especially online, men live in a fantasy. They see something they like, they want it, the end. There is no other thought processing that goes in with that. So you have to be clear and you have to set your boundaries and realize that even if you like this person, if he's not going to step up to what you expect, then he's not worth it, and it's never going to work a week, a month, 6 months down the line. So cut it now and save yourself the heartache.
I love what you just shared there, because if you think about it through our own lives or through our girlfriends' lives or family, friends, sharing stories about how they're heartbroken, and then you say to them, you never had that person to begin with, or that person never treated you the way that you want to be. You just kept compromising. Why are you crying now? They did you a favor. You are free to go and find someone who will treat you the way you want to be treated and who will ultimately love you. But by staying trapped in a relationship with someone who's already shown you who they are, and you've got an entire set of your own red flags, you can hang them on the wall, you can do whatever you want. Now you can take them down and start all over again.
And this is why in my first coaching session, I will always say, I'll do the boundaries and the values exercise, because most people don't know where their boundaries are and they don't know what their values are in a relationship. And unless you're clear on these two things, it makes the dating process a lot easier, because you're clear in your mind about what's acceptable and not acceptable to you.
Excellent point. We're coming to the end of our show very quickly, and I have to share one picture. I was able to pull one up. If you could, we're talking about how to love yourself. I'd love for you to frame up this first picture that we have about this procedure that you got, that you literally volunteered as a model. It looked like it was incredibly painful, but yet here you are today looking stunning. So before I show the picture, what can you tell us?
So I did microneedling radio frequency. It is the most powerful laser on the market for microneedling. It's called Profound. And I did it with Dr. Maria in Altaderma Clinic. She's a very, very well-respected cosmetic doctor. And it's needles that go into your skin. So I'm fully numbed. And the procedure took about 2 hours, and she only did my lower face and my neck. I mean, you can see my neck is still recovering. It's not quite right yet, but it tightens. Oh yeah, that was probably a day or so after. It was very, very swollen. I looked like a chipmunk.
Your neck looks, in this photograph, your neck looks so small.
Yeah, it's the cheeks are really, really swollen. I mean, I was very swollen for about 3 or 4 days.
So how long was this procedure, and then how much time was spent on your face versus your neck?
Well, the whole procedure it was just the jawline she did to the mouth area along that line. It was mainly the neck, because it's the tightening effects that you want. So the effects are really like a facelift, but it's very expensive. It's around $4,000 for one procedure, but you only need the one treatment.
In your entire life, or in a year?
No, a year. I'd say one a year. So I was very, very, very lucky to have it as a model, because they have a training school and they always need models to show the doctors how to do the procedures. But I literally felt nothing. But now it still feels tight. I mean, and it's lumpy, and it's still numb. Not numb, but it's hard still. So they say you need about 2 months. So I did it on the 13th of November.
So when you say your face feels hard, like, what do you mean, tight?
Tight and hard. When you touch it, it's hard underneath.
Like a wall?
Yeah, because it's what it's doing. It's regenerating the collagen and elastin on a cellular level. So it really is working its magic, but it takes time. You know, collagen takes about 3 weeks to reproduce itself. But because this was super, super strong, I mean, I think it's up at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, there's another picture I sent you, Dr. Jacalyn, and it's right after the procedure, and I'm very, very red.
I can't find it. I know you sent it, but I've tried and I can't get it. Sorry.
Yeah, so I look very bloodied and very bruised, but I literally felt nothing. There was zero pain, even the next day. It was a bit sensitive to touch, but that was it. So
Well,
I
you look
was
beautiful.
very impressed, very impressed.
You look absolutely beautiful. So congratulations. And I'm super excited that you went to this retreat and you found a lot of value in it. So based on what you've learned today, how, if at all, will you be incorporating your new knowledge into the services you offer for your clients?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be incorporating it into the coaching work, the relationship coaching, if it's an individual, or definitely with the couples. I learned a lot. So yes, it's coming very useful.
Excellent. And what's the best way for people to reach out to you, and who would you like to connect with you?
Well, anybody that wants a better quality of life, wants to know themselves better, wants to meet a partner, or have a better intimate connection with their wife or husband. So you can get me on my website, katrinavalente.com. I'm on Instagram every day, Katrina Valente and the number 1, and Facebook, Katrina Valente.
Now, I've seen a number of posts on Instagram where you're with other people. Are you looking for people to be part of the podcast that you're doing, or these? I see you've got a session coming up with you and 2 other people. Are you looking for people to assist you?
No, I mean, I'm always looking for interesting guests. I've got 2 guys, they're called Mentality. They're here in Dubai and they're from London, and they focus on men's mental health. So I'll be interviewing them. The podcast is being done on Wednesday, so I'll have to edit it. It'll take about a week, and then I'll be posting that.
So when it comes to your podcast, only because I have some people in mind, are you looking for people specifically who are in Dubai?
Yes, but I could also do it over Zoom, and do the podcast like that. I haven't done that yet, but it is a possibility for sure.
Well, we have our next show and the one after that coming up with our team member, Roland Friedel, who is currently in Italy, but he does a ton of work with men. And so I think it'd be interesting to connect the two of you and see where that could go.
Yeah, sure. Great. Please do.
All right, fantastic. I will mention that to him in the next episode. So thank you again for being here. Final words that you have for our audience today, whether they're watching live or on the replay, how to love yourself so you can love another.
You have to understand yourself intimately, and you have to understand the mother-father dynamic that play out in your life. And once you've nailed that, sky's the limit.
Woohoo! I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for being here on Dating Chronicles with Katrina. And I know you are traveling. Will we see you again in 2 weeks? I don't know the date, but
I'm traveling the 19th back to the Maldives, and I'll be there for 5 weeks. So if we don't connect before, we'll definitely connect while I'm there.
excellent. I always love when you're away on your programs. We get to see how beautiful and interesting everything is. So thank you again, Katrina. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
Bye
too.
for now.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. We truly do appreciate you, whether you're watching on the live or the replay. And our next show is coming up. It's Your Healthy Lifestyle with Mr. Roland Friedel. So please do stay tuned for that. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, it's so easy. Go over to our website, which is usaglobaltv.com/book your session. Just a quick announcement, which is we are looking for a show host for a couple of new shows that we have. So if you're interested in being considered as a television show host, please do reach out. My contact information is here in the chat. And we are actually looking for people who are interested in being a show host once a month. So if that's you, please do reach out. You can go over to info@usaglobaltv.com or Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com. Thanks again. We'll be right back with our next show. We look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, please do reach out to Katrina Valente. Go over to LinkedIn. She's there. Go over to her website, katrinavalente.com. Go to Instagram. Go to Facebook. She's everywhere and would love to hear from you. Bye for now, everyone.